Hello friends, welcome to another video. Uh, in this video we're going to look into one of a project I'm currently working with one of my client. Um, the, it's really interesting, something unusual. So basically what they have is, in any inventory production and then sales and we stock kind of environment. So you have a inventory coming in by date, and then you're selling the product, and you're then removing sales out of the stock and bringing or adding the inventory in the stock and then removing it when it gets sold. So what they wanted to do was to see the sales by date or the report by date, but they wanted to see the inventory on the first date of the month and the sales, and then deplete it, deduct it every sales happen and show the stock. So let's say if we have a inventory coming in on January 1st, January 5th, January 20th, 10 pieces each. They want to see like 30 pieces on the January 1st and then show the sales by each date and then remove it from the inventory. So now there's many way to do this, and it's not something that has not been done in the past or probably has been done, but there, as I said, many ways to do it. I wrote a DAX and figured it out and did it, and I thought that I probably solved the problem. But then I went back and made small change into my model, and that simplified my DAX and that improved the performance. So this is what we're going to look into this video, that how making sometimes writing DAX is not necessarily is always a good way to go. Making small changes into your model can really improve the performance and really remove all the complexity. Let's look into this together, and I will go through how I solved it first, and then what changes I made in the model to solve it and improve the performance. All right, let's get into Power BI and look into this. All right, so we have this data model here. It's very simple data, inventory table, and then we have a sales table and a product table. So I'll just quickly look into the relationship. So calendar and then product and sales. So simple. Now just to use this, what we will do is, let's say we have a date here and maybe month as well. Okay, so let's make it a matrix, and then what we want to do here is, let's change the size to a little bigger, 16. We want a inventory and sales. So sum inventory, let's say just say measure, which is a sum of inventory quantity. Right, so that's that, and then we have another measure for some sales quantity. So here we want simple thing, so there's nothing fancy about it. So this is perfect, working as expected. So now we can have a running total and remove the inventory, remove the sales out of inventory to get the balance. But the the problem what we're trying to solve here is, the inventory we want to see only on the first date of the month. So 144 for January should show only on the first date of the month, even though there are inventory coming in a different dates, but the show the sales per date and then calculate the balance. So it means we first need to fix our inventory measure to show it on the first date. So what I did is I added in calendar, I added a month start date column, so which will just give me the start date of the month. And so why we need that, let me quickly show you guys. So let's write a measure to put our inventory to the first day of the month. To do that, let's first do that. Okay, so we're gonna say inventory, some inventory, maybe start of month. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into if our current date, what we're looking in the row, is equal to start of the month. I mean, there's many ways you can say, okay, say first day of the date or whatever different ways we can do. So, but what we're trying to find out, are we on the first date of the month? So if we are on the first date of the month, then give us the sum inventory quantity, and actually what we need here is, if we are on the first day, then remove any filters on the date. So what does that means is the month inventory will get, we will remove the filter on the date, and then the inventory will get rolled up into on the first date of the month. So let's look into this measure. Sum inventory start of the month. Okay, perfect. So let's remove sales quantity for now. So if we see now, so we have on January 1st 144, which is a sum inventory quantity for the month, and February 231. So it is only showing the inventory on the first day of the month. That's the first thing we wanted to solve for, which is perfectly fine. But now there is a problem. It does not show the total in there. To fix this, what we're going to do is we're going to improve our measure. So what we need to do here is we tell it to give us, we're going to sum this over calendar, and then keep this in there. And I think that will do it. So we should get 2163. Not working. Oh, sorry. So what we need to do is we have to send the filter context from the date to our these measures. So let's do this. Okay, so it should work now. All right, here you go. So now we see the sum, and also if we remove this sum inventory quantity, so now we have what we're looking for. So we have in January, it's showing on the first day, in February, and all the stuff, and the total is working fine. So now from here onwards, everything should be simple. Then we have a sales quantity, and then we can remove the sale quantity out of the start of the month and show the balance. So we have done a lot of, not a lot, but we did some interesting stuff here to make this happen. This is exactly what is the what I want to show in this video is, so the one way is we solve this and then we work on the rest of the DAX. The other way is, the quicker way is, which I actually did, what I would do is I go into the inventory table, in the transform data, or from the back end, wherever your source data is coming, but in this case I'm doing it in Power Query. I added a start date of the month column in my inventory table. So it is it's just out of the box functionality. So if I go here, if I go date and then go add column, date, month, start of month. So it adds a column and the type is set to the date. Okay, so now we each record in our inventory table, we have a start of the month columns added for it. So we close and apply this. And the next thing I did is um, we created a relationship between calendar date. So we already had a relationship between calendar date to the date on when the actual transaction happened. That might be useful for other reasons, but this specific visual, let's say we want to show the inventory at the start of the month. So I have another relationship with the date with the start of month, right, which is inactive. As we know, when you set a relationship between two tables, the one relation can be only active and others are inactive. So to how that made a difference. So now if I write the same measure and let's say write some inventory start of month, let's say version 2. So now what we need to do here is pretty simple. Calculate, sorry, inventory, which is just in a sum, and then use relationship. So we make our inactive relationship to active, calendar date with the start of month column, which we added through Power Query in our inventory table, and use that in the relationship, and here you go. So now if we use this V2 start of the month in our table, all right, oops, sorry, what we have here is we achieve the same result. Let's remove sales quantity for now. So we achieved the same result. The one we did earlier was writing this DAX code, like comparing whether we are at the start of the month and then removing filters and all that stuff to make it work. So we're going through the process of writing this DAX and it works. But other part of this is just by adding one column and set the relationship, and then we achieve the same result. And it's straightforward, simple DAX, nothing crazy we are doing here. So as you saw in this video, doing small change into the model or adding one new column into our inventory table and simplified our writing a DAX code. That this is when I was working this project, I was doing it in a longer way, wrote this complicated DAX, and then I realized and I learned that okay, if I add this column into my inventory table and just set the relationship with the date, use relationship, and that's it. I don't have to do anything fancy or other things to make it work. I hope you find it useful, or maybe you end up using this technique or something similar in your report, and get things much more simpler in terms of when it comes to DAX. Anyhow, leave the comments in the video, and I will be back with another video in next few days, and keep on sharing, learning what I'm doing and seeing, and then continue sharing with all of you. If you have any business problem or something you want me to work on, just let me know, put it in the comments, and I would like to make a video on that, and we will work together. Anyhow, have a good day. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.